This video explains how to identify the default color palette of a ggplot2 plot using the R programming language. So without much talk, let's dive into the R code. In this video I will show you an example, and for this example we first need to create a data frame, as you can see in lines 2 and 3 of the code. So after running these lines of code, a new data frame called data is appearing at the top right. And as you can see, this data frame contains 4 rows and 2 columns, whereby the first column is a group indicator and the second column contains numeric values. Now, if we want to draw these data using the ggplot2 package, we also need to install and load the ggplot2 package, as you can see in lines 5 and 6 of the code. I have installed the package already, so for that reason I'm just going to load it with line 6. And then in the next step, in lines 8 and 9, we can draw our data in a bar plot. So after running these lines of code, you can see that a new bar plot is appearing at the top right. And you can also see that the ggplot2 package has selected 4 different colors by default. So let's assume that we want to return the hex color codes of these colors in R. Then we can use the scales package, and for this we first need to install and load the scales package, as you can see in lines 11 and 12. I have installed this package as well, so for that reason I'm just going to load it with line 12. And now in the next step we can use the upal function to identify the hex color codes. However, first we need to save the number of rows in our bar plot data frame, as you can see in line 14. And then we specify in line 15 of the code that we want to identify the hex color codes that correspond to the number of rows in our data. So after running line 15 of the code, you can see that a new data object called hexcode1 is appearing at the top right. And if we print this data object to the bottom in the RStudio console, you can see that a vector of 4 different hex color codes is returned. And now we could use the showCol function to show these colors in RStudio. So in line 18, I'm applying the showCol function to our data object hexcodes1. So after running line 18 of the code, you can see at the bottom right that a plot is shown which is identifying our 4 different hex color codes and which is showing which color code corresponds to which color. Now in this plot we have drawn 4 bars with 4 different colors. However, we can also extract a larger color palette of the ggplot2 package, and for this we simply need to specify a different value for the n argument. So in this case I want to extract the first 50 colors of the ggplot2 color palette, and for that reason I specify another data object that contains the value 50, as you can see in line 20 of the code. And then I use this new value to extract the first 50 color codes from the upal function, and I'm storing the output of this in a new data object that I'm calling hexcodes2. So after running line 21 of the code, this new data object is appearing at the top right, and once again we can apply the showCol function to this data object, as you can see in line 22. And then you can see that a new plot is created which is showing all the hex color codes and the different colors. Let's enlarge on this plot a little bit to make the hex color codes visible. So now you can see the first 50 colors in a ggplot2 plot, and you can see the corresponding hex color codes. That's all I wanted to explain in this video. In case you want to learn more on this topic, you may check out my homepage statisticsglobe.com, because on my homepage I have recently published a tutorial in which I'm explaining the content of this video in some more detail. I will put a link to this tutorial into the description of the video, so you can find it there. If you have liked this video or if you have any questions, let me know in the comments section below. I'll try to respond to all comments as soon as I can. Furthermore, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get notified about future video releases. I have already published about 500 videos on this channel, and I'm releasing new videos on a daily basis. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next video.